It's that time of year when I just want to use up some things that I have around the shop and around the studio, and also prepare some pretty projects for gift giving. So I'm going to show you 3 fun and easy decoupage projects that I hope will inspire you. Let's start with our first project. I have already base coated the 4-inch papier-mache box with white paint, and now I'm going to be decoupaging a Decoupage Queen rice paper over the entire surface. I am putting the pink stripes around the outside, and then I'll put the pretty blue flowers on the top. After all of the decoupage and medium has dried completely, I'll go ahead and sand off the excess along the edges for a nice, clean finish.
Her in class and she would try to act cool, but it was obvious, like, ooh.
And then of course I'll check the edges for any loose paper and apply a little bit more of that decoupage glue to those edges to secure them. Around the outside rim, I have found some really pretty little crocheted lace in my stash, so I'm going to glue that in place around that rim.
Call you my sweetheart and promise nobody can steal me away.
I wanted to make this a multi-purpose box so that you could, put some candies or something special in the box, but then it would be topped with something that could be used in different ways. So I have these beautiful little velvet Millenary Flowers. I've used 3 of them here. Those are listed in the description box down below, along with all of the other products that I'm using today. So I'm securing those 3 flowers with some floral tape, and I'll attach a hat pin or a corsage pin to the back of it. Using some of our custom dyed ribbon, I'm going to tie that little corsage piece on the top, so it could be removed easily and used to pin on a straw basket or a hat, however you decide you want to use it. I just think it makes the sweetest little presentation, and again, it's multi-purpose. The next little gift idea is this box. It's a storage box that I've had laying around. So I have, again, given that a nice coat of paint just to make sure that everything has a smooth and consistent surface on it. And I have selected some of my Tim Holtz back. I've also looked through our supplies and found some metal pieces that I could potentially use on this box. So I've chosen my papers. This one I'm going to go in a little bit more of a masculine direction, and I'm cutting all of the pieces to size to fit the top and the sides of the box. I've torn the edges so that we have a little bit of a distressed look on the top. Those that I couldn't tear, I'm also going to use a paper distresser to rough up the edges. Once I have all the pieces cut to size, I'm going to go ahead and lay those out so that I can double check my patterns and make sure that this is how I want the box to be covered. I'll use the tear-offs to create a grid arrangement, something layered on the top to just add a little bit more interest. For the inside of this storage box, I'm going to use these typed ledger sets, and I have already selected one to fit on the inside of the box. These are just loaded with all kinds of quotes and sentiments, and so you can easily cut them apart, or you can use them as whole sheets like I am doing here. And I will decoupage the entire sheet on the inside of this box. I want to make sure that I get the decoupage medium into the corners so that when I press this all into place, I will have a very secure bond that is not going to bubble where those corners are. To add just a bit more age and texture to the backdrops, I'm inking all of the sides with a Ranger archival ink or one of our Tim Holtz distress inks, whatever you happen to have on hand. And then I will glue each of those in place on the box top and the sides.
Till my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you. You will grow up.
For the arrangement and the layout on the top, I'm taking those cutoffs, like I said, and I'm going to distress the edges, ink them up, and then begin to glue those in place.
Your way, I will stay right here beside you to catch you if you fall. And deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything.
Then glue all of these strips in place with decoupage medium or collage medium. And once those layers have dried completely, I'm just going to start to build up some other layers and interest on top of this little arrangement. This is our Tim Holtz Cello tape. I'm going to use one of the Tim Holtz quote frames and one of the quote chips. Before I actually glue those in place, I am going to check for the placement of this muslin ribbon closure because I decided that I want that to go underneath that label. I am going to hot glue the ribbon into place and then bring it up the sides. I'm only gluing the one side down that's on the back of the box.
Is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can.
I did decide that I wanted to add a little bit more texture and some layers to the front of the box, just to add some more interest.
Deep and abiding, liking for you.
Here I'm checking the placement of that ribbon where it's going to wrap around the top, the lid, and gluing that in place before I then glue the frames label and quote chip over the top of the ribbon. I'll glue that in place with the Tim Holtz Collage medium. It's awesome for gluing metal to paper, metal to metal, paper to glass, metal to glass. It pretty much will adhere anything to anything. So I will, put that into place and then let that dry completely. When I'm gluing these metal pieces, I usually like to put a little weight on them or use a clamp to hold them in place and then let them dry for a good solid 24 hours. I'm finishing off the box by adding some layers of the Tim Holtz postage stamp stickers. And a little more of that cello tape because you can never have enough of that cello tape. What a great keepsake box for letters, photographs, or whatever else you want to put in it. Maybe some favorite chocolates. The last project, I'm going to be using some more of those ledger sheets with all the quotes, and I am going to decoupage those onto just a free craft notebook that I was given by a supplier. You could use any notebook that you have hanging around. After I have decoupaged that paper into place, I'm trimming away all of the excess around the outside of the book, then sanding the edges for a more distressed effect. I just want to take a second to say thank you for joining us here today at L&J Goods. We love to share fun ideas for you to DIY and really appreciate you spending these few minutes with us. So while you're here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss our next videos. And of course, we'd love it if you'd leave a comment and let us know if you are willing to try one of these projects. Which one is your favorite? This is a rice paper from AB Studios. I am going to watercut it and start taking that apart because I want to kind of create my own arrangement. Even though this is beautiful as it is, I do want to see that paper with the quotes on it coming from behind the flowers. So you'll see that I'll just begin to lay it out and pull away what I don't want to use. Even though I'm tearing away a lot of this excess paper, I am going to go back and use a lot of the pieces that I have already torn away to create some layers and more interest. I want to just have a pleasing arrangement. Sometimes it does help me to cut away from the outside edges so that I know exactly what I'm working with. And then I'm going to fussy cut some of those roses that were a part of the original design. So I'm doing a dry fit of my composition, not only the base rice paper, but also the pieces that I have fussy cut out that are going to be used to layer. And then I'll trim everything away to roughly the size of that cover. And you'll see I'm still working at this paper and tearing away little bits that I don't want included. Before I decoupage, I'm going to want to undercoat this area where the flowers are going to be with some white paint. So I'm taking a pencil and I'm kind of sketching out lightly inside the edges of where those flowers are. And then I'm going to take some white paint and apply a coat of that inside that sketched area. By doing this, I'm going to assure that all of the words are not going to come through behind the flowers. So I'm going to decoupage now all of these rice papers in place.
It's true. And then he said, I wrote you a love song, and I tried to make it beautiful. It's a song about your sweetheart, and how nobody...
I've even cut out an additional bit of quote and decoupaged that in place, and then began to layer my fussy cut flowers over the top of that.
As he sang, she started to dance, grabbed his arm and took his.
Finally, I'm going to decoupage a bit of coordinating paper onto the spine of this notebook.
And now they're singing their love song, and they sing it kind of beautiful. Calling each other sweet.
With my charcoal pencil, I'm outlining those little patches of quotes that I have applied to just help them to stand out more. And last, I'll tie another one of those hand-dyed ribbons around the exterior, tie it in a bow. This is a great place to even tuck a little bookmark or tie on a little charm if you want to, or tuck in a pretty pen. And there's a lovely gift for a friend. I hope you've enjoyed each of these projects that I've shared with you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. All of the supplies that I've used will be linked in the description box below. L&J Goods is a brick and mortar shop in Medina, New York. And you can also find all the supplies that we've used at lnjgoods.com. We stream live here to YouTube twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. We share complete projects using all different types of mediums and techniques. So this wood here is from our cottage.
Yep.
That's so cool. And this is the base. Oh, whoa. Oh my gosh. So tell me what you did.
Well, this is all, I still got finalization across the top here, but this is all glued down.
I just love you're using salvaged dollhouse
Yep.
to make my little cottage. Can't wait to get it finished. That's going to be really cute, and it will fit on one of my
You
shelves.
think?
I think it'll fit on one of our shelves. Yeah, like the top one.
Yeah,
Let's measure.
let's measure is. Yeah, I'd hit what, 17 inches.
Okay, we'll measure when we get home.
Okay.
Very cool. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's been sitting there for so long, and all stick built from some scraps.
I know.
This is all leftover material.
That's
so
what we do.
we got to help me with the door. What are we gonna do for the doors? How do you say it? Piece de resistance.
Gosh,
You're the
Sherry,
painter.
you know how much I love
I know.
the little houses you build. It's a way that I feel loved by you.
I know. Gifts.
Yeah.
Gifts and houses.